Hello, and thank you for stopping by. I'm your host, Jerry Royce, and welcome to Positive Power 21 Network, where you get your positive on. This is a worldwide podcast for growth, wealth, and success. Thank you.
Positive Power 21.org, Internet Radio.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Jerry Royce Show, and welcome to Positive Power 21, a.k.a. Power 21. I am the voice of Jerry Royce, and when it's all positive, it's all power. That is Positive Power. Today's sponsor, and we're talking about our Power 21 Gold sponsor, is the Resume Guy. He's a high supporter of our show. He owns a website called www.career-image.com. And he says if you need a resume and you're wondering why you can't get that job, you visit his website. And again, that's career-image.com. Ooh, did I say that right? Career-image.com. Okay. All right. Then we got Fast Tech Solutions. And they have fasttechsolutions.net. For your internet needs, they rebuild and install computer network infrastructures and install wireless home systems. And they also do computer repairs, because I know there's a few people out there have broken systems right now, and they put a lot of money in it. You can ship it, and here, ship it back. And that's fasttechsolutions.net, and it's up on our website at positivepower21.org. Also, REI Heritage Tours is sponsoring, they're one of the sponsors of the Harriet Tubman Conference. It's a big conference going on the Eastern Shore on June 13th and 14th. For more information, you can contact either the Underground Railroad Museum, or you can contact Mr. Sampson at REI Heritage Tours at 410-820-8350, and he'll arrange to have you bring down your big 44-passenger buses so you can do some tours. Very nice tour. Also, just to let you know, there has been, the ground has been broken sometime last year with Walter O'Malley, and thanks to President Obama, there will be 500 acres of land that's been dedicated in Harriet Tubman's name, and they're putting up a $17 million monument in her honor. And it's going to provide jobs and everything. It's going to be state-of-the-art, something you have never seen in your life. All right. Also, don't forget about our beautiful songbird, Lori Williams. She has the most beautiful jazz music you ever want to hear. A lot of it has been custom written by her and her band. It's 2 CDs on sale on positivepower21.org. It's powered by Amazon, so there'll be safe delivery of your transaction. Also, we like to say thank you again to Synovia Alexander, and she released her books. And a few of the books that she's promoting right now, I believe, is Love Me to Death and Ghetto Love. So cop those books, and she's just a writing machine. We just love her to death. And Bernard Blue Rowell, he's still pushing the book about bullying. A lot of us are having problems bullying. We're experiencing on the internet, in our community, on our jobs. His book is called Son, I Got Your Back. Very interesting book. And then I want to say hello to the Book Divas on tour, K.R. Ray. She's pushing the trilogy of True Colors, and she just was featured in USA Today on a top 10 list of bestsellers. So check that out. That's a big honor for African American. That's all right. And Sandra B. Swanger, her partner in crime, she has a book called Let Me Just Say This. It will be released in August of this year. So it's being re-released, and that's what I was thinking about, trying to say at the same time. And also, don't forget the other partner, Dee Lawrence, and she has a book called Gotta Let It Go, and she will be releasing, I guess, the second book to that sometime in 2015. So look out for that, and look for those authors at some of the book festivals that's going to be hitting your town soon. We're going to be seeing a lot of them starting with this month all the way through to October. So get your tickets together and pack your bags. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce you guys to this is probably one of the first authors we have that deals with erotica. And, it's not like it's taboo in everybody's household. Everybody probably read it sometime or another. But right now I think it's taking a new level, because a lot of divorce rate is supposed to be around 50% now, and sometimes we just need some help, because you're always looking. You got something good right at home, but because you've been at it so long, you just kind of forget about it. But these books kind of rekindle that fire. So tonight on the show we have Fyre Mouth. Welcome to the show, Fyre Mouth. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to read a little bit that we have on you, and the rest of it we're going to ask you about. We have what we found, I think, out there on the internet. We have you're an author of True Glory Publications, which they're based in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're writing under Urban Erotica and Mysteries. And you're a mother, a friend, and a confidant to many people, and we know you have a lot of friends out there. And you're working on your bachelor's degree in criminal justice and minoring in human relations or human resources or something like
that. Human services.
All right, it's all the same. But anyway, you're from the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area. We know you like to have a good time. You like to eat crawfish and all that good stuff. You have several books that's out. They're bestsellers. You have one called Let's Make It Nasty Part 2, Sexual Positions, The Black Widow Murders, The Chronicles of David Hanger series, and then you have the Chronicle of David Hanger series 2, Kidnapped. And that's the one I'm waiting to read. Now, I did have an opportunity to read one of her books, and I must say she's an excellent writer. It just flows so smoothly. It's a nice, easy read. But it was a good one. It was a good one. So welcome to the show, and tell us how you're doing today. Tell us.
Oh, I'm doing very well. Like I said, I'm very, very happy to be on your show. So it's a pleasure.
That's right. I appreciate you coming here. Like I say, you're the first one of your kind, Urban Erotica and Mysteries. And we have a few authors that have written romance, which is good, but your industry is really really rising fast. And before we talk about that, can you give us a little more background about you and what intrigued you to become a writer?
Well, actually I've been writing probably since around the age of 15. I actually write poetry as well, but since I've become an author, I really don't dibble and dab as much in poetry as I used to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It just depends upon what mood I'm in, really, as far as the poetry goes.
Good. And we talked a little bit about doing something together with some poets, try to bring their life back, to the internet, and see what's out there. I heard some really really good talent out there on another blog radio talk show, and I said, wow, they really sounded really nice. The guys was rocking some poetry, and I said, let's bring that back. Let's bring that back to the internet. Now, you're writing more now because you've been signed to a publishing company. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your company right now, and how would someone else go about getting in contact or submitting manuscript to a publisher such as the one you're working with?
Well, the CEO of True Glory Publishing is Shamik Spate, and he's really a great guy. He will do everything he can to help you get to reach the stardom that you want to reach. He'll teach you the ins, the outs, everything you need to know.
Wow.
And if someone wanted to be signed by him, they would need to contact him through Facebook and submit 3 chapters of their work.
Okay. And we probably don't really know what he's looking for right now, but whatever you think you're good at, just submit it to him and see what happens, right? And see if your dreams come true. Now, was it a dream come true for you when he accepted your manuscript and signed you, to a multi-book deal?
Well, to be honest with you, I really wasn't looking for a deal. I was more curious about self-publishing because that was the direction that I was really being pushed in, because I really didn't know of any companies or any publishers. And someone recommended him, for me to submit my work to him and allow him to review it. And what I did was I had accepted, sent him a friend request, and I never reached out to him. It took me about 3 months before I even reached out to him. And one day he did a post on Facebook stating he was looking for new authors. And I inboxed him. I said, I'm like, okay, what is it that you're looking for? I said, or can you tell me more about self-publishing? And he was like, well, let me see some of your work. I said, well, I'll tell you what, how about I send you to my fan page on Facebook, and, you can tell me what you think about it, or, tell me more information. He went to my fan page, and within 5 minutes, he offered me a book deal.
Wow. Now, what did you send him? Which book did you send him?
Actually, it was more of Let's Make It Nasty Part 1. Mm-hmm. Basically, that book was basically fan-based written. It was things that people requested they wanted to read about, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 stories that I really just ad-libbed and put in there just to make it a little longer. But most of the stories are actual things that people wanted to read about, or things that happened to them that they requested.
Good. Now, you're making a lot of noise out there on the internet right now. You have a weekly blog talk radio show. You have a fan-based Facebook page, and then you have a lot of you have books out there. You're actually giving your fans a chance to to try you out for free. That's remarkable.
Right. We also have we do author interviews, which is on Kelly B Spotlight. It's a part of my fan group called Fyre Mouth. Basically, we try to give the new authors a chance to kind of see what it's like to actually have an interview. We try to cater more to them to give them a chance. And most of the time, since the ones that we have given an interview to, they have actually received more offers to do more interviews with other blog talks, other groups on Facebook. It actually kind of like opened the door for them a little bit.
Good.
We also have cricket.
Now, I was going to say, let's talk a little bit about the Blog Talk Radio.
Okay.
Y'all, now, how you guys plan your show? I mean, are you guys on a regular time, or you just send it out to your fans and let them know when you feel like doing a show?
It really just depends. Certain authors we will do Blog Talk Radio for, and most of them are done through Q&A. It just depends upon the popularity of the author. Every now and then we'll do an occasional generic show that's basically based on adult topics, where callers can just call in and just chat with me and Kelly B.
Yeah, Kelly B is something else. Tell her, listen to this show last night. She is funny. And Kelly B, you got a lot of experience, too. You scare me. You got too much experience. All right. That's good. That was a fun show. That was really fun. I got a chance to listen to you guys for a couple of hours. I think you guys were on, 2 hours? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, kept me entertained. That was good. I can see that really getting popular because people get a chance to just be themselves, let their hair down, and just enjoy, just adult conversation. And nothing wrong with that. Just let it out. Good.
Right.
Okay, I commend you guys for that. And Kelly did a great job.
Great job. She did. She really did. But I also wanted to mention we also do Cricket Reads, which is also a review or recommendation page. Each time an author has a new release, we ask that they gift it to my team, and then we'll do a review and place it on Amazon and on Goodreads. Wow,
that's a good idea. Yeah, because I noticed that Amazon is powered by reviews. The more reviews you have, the better chance of you having, it's easy for the search for, someone looking for a book to read or purchase. Good idea. That's a good move. Now, I was going to talk to you a little bit about the social media, moving your books. Now, you do have some friends out there that's moving a lot of books. There's quite a few authors out there that's writing under the urban, street literature, erotica, and they're making a lot of money right now. And they're good writers. And that was one of the things that we talked a lot about on some previous shows I had was a lot of authors, the seasoned authors, felt like, take your time, don't rush it out there. But they understand e-books is driving you to produce more books. But because you guys are, have the skill set and you're pretty natural with your writing, how difficult is it for you to keep coming up with these stories when, the fans is kind of forcing your hand?
For me, it's not difficult at all. It's once I come up with an idea, I just flow with it. And it doesn't take me long to produce it.
Okay, now I enjoyed the David Hanger series. Now, are fans forcing your hand with him? I mean, are they who's coming after you? Is it the guys, the females? Who's coming at you on that one?
Both.
Oh.
Both. Everybody loves David. Everybody loves Davita. Both, male and female. Everybody seems to enjoy the David Hanger series.
Yeah, Miss Fine. She was something else. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, especially David. David's personality was just so real. Especially if you're someone that work in a office environment, a staff job, you have these different characters, and everybody's always, somebody's kissing up to the boss, somebody's not doing enough work, somebody's doing all the work, and David reminded me he was one of the guys that if they needed something solved, and it's like I call it like ninth floor attention. The big boys got their eyes on this case. He's going to be the one that's going to get it because they trust him to get it done. Now, is David ever going to have a partner, or he just on his own? He's solo.
I can't tell you that. You'd have to wait until book 3 comes out to find out.
Now I haven't even gotten the kidnap yet. Now, is it okay to re-kidnap right now?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay. All right, good. I'm looking forward to reading that one. I'm actually reading Zenobia's book right now too, so I'm gonna be reading both books at the same time. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. That's
but
right.
I will tell you this about book 3. Book 3 will have an entire new perp in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes.
Get out of here. All right, now let's talk a little bit about your Let's Make It Nasty 1 and 2. Got a lot of married couples out there. Some of them were struggling, having little problems out there. But these books, because they're written so well, it kind of remind you of some of the newer movies you're seeing now with their scripts. The actors can actually act.
Right.
Did you find you guys kind of have that similarity, something in common there, that the books are getting better now with the storyline? It's not just jumping right into the action that's kind of, bring you along?
Well, you know what? For me, I don't enjoy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching porn, okay? But for me, I want to have a little more than just straight to it. I need a little more dialogue, a little more. Okay, what happens before they get to the point where they have already removed their clothes? I want to know what happened, what brought them to that point, and that's right. The way I tend to write.
Good. I mean, your style is great. It's awesome. Now, I was reading somewhere where they're saying that couple therapists are actually recommending that couples read erotica.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think that's where the problem is. Sometimes they're getting bored of each other. The excitement, the hotness, all that is gone. You just don't want to put it in no more. You just boring each other to death, and when you do go through the motion, you're like, man, this could have been Beyonce or somebody. You kind of trying to fantasize, and that's not even there no more. I hear a lot of the guys say they just go down to the strip clubs and get heated up, warmed up, then come on home, and it kind of does re-energize the excitement, of their woman, because this is somebody you can actually touch and, talk and, whatever. Now, what would you say about that? As far as with your book, what I'm trying to say, the position your books are in right now.
So Let's Make It Nasty series is basically a bedroom series. My books are written to fire up the bedroom, to set it ablaze, to cause a volcanic explosion.
Burn it up.
Yes, to burn it up, to set it on fire, because you got to keep that spark in order to maintain an awesome relationship. Not only besides communicating, all that's great and fine and dandy, but the bedroom has to have that spice in order to keep that fire lit between a couple.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I like the way you put that. It's funny because my uncle is like one of my best friends, and both of us, we kind of look out for each other,
Right.
I think I'm a pretty handsome guy. I can carry it a little bit. And my uncle, he doesn't look his age at all. Women find him very attractive and everything. And he always say, he had never crossed that line, to disrespect his wife. But he said sometimes it's good to get a little warmed up. You see something, they flirting with you a little bit, you get back with them a little bit, then you just take it home, And I said, wow, that's a good concept. And like I had a friend who lost his relationship was dissolved because he had decided that he wanted to break his well, he had a business, he had his own band, and he had a lead singer. She was very attractive, almost looked like Halle Berry. And he decided to cross the line, and instead of just having that business relationship, and then his wife was busy all the time. She was in school, she had a part-time job, they were raising 2 kids, taking care of the house, and so when he come home, from a long day, or from being out of town, she just wasn't there for him. She was tired. And so this woman started getting a little closer. They would spend a lot of time together on rehearsals. Next thing you know, they filed for divorce. And I said, "What happened, dude?" And he asked me, "What do you guys do?" I said, "Man, me and my boys, we going downtown, man, and hang out especially if the Ravens lost and it was really bad and they crying and everything. Say, hey, let's go hang out a little bit downtown. Let's go to some clubs, just drink a little bit, hang out, have some fun, come on back home. Bam, everybody's happy." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, man." I said, that's probably why those places were designed really for married men or guys who've been in relationships for a long time. And now people don't really have the money to spend on those places like they used to because they get rather expensive. The books
Right.
probably play a very important role in a man because it's all fantasy, right? That's all it is.
Right. But you know
so
what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what? At the end of the day, in a marriage, that woman needs to make sure she keeps that spice. Even if it means wearing a different wig, meaning have a little role play. You gotta keep it jazzed up. You can't let that boredom set in with the same old redundancy. You have to have more than that. It gets boring. There's nothing wrong with the husband or the wife hanging with their girls or the husband hanging with his friends or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you come home, you got to have that connection.
That's right. So you can't wait till you get home.
And that's where Let's Make It Nasty comes in at, because you can actually have each night read a different story, learn something new, try something new.
That's
I've had
books. Yeah.
I've had readers tell me. I've had readers to tell me that they allowed their husband to read a story one night, and then they read another story to their husband the next night, and it has actually improved their bedroom.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's the testimonies.
That's right. I believe that. Yeah, and that's what I think some of the couple therapies were suggesting, some of those type things, because sometimes it's not like the flame is not there. It's just it just need to be sparked a little bit. Throw some wood in there. Some fire, some paper, burn it up. Heat it up.
Right.
And because the numbers are really high for the divorce rate, and sometimes it's not even really financial. I mean, everybody's struggling financially. That's like a norm nowadays. So you can't use that as an excuse no more. I think a lot of times it's just because, the romance is just gone, and you're just not doing anything about it. Somebody has to be creative, and some people are a little more conservative than others. But your books bring it out. Bring it out. So what are the fans saying about your books? Are you touring right now? Have you started that yet?
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. Actually, I prefer to write crime erotica because I love the mystery and then the hot scenes to go with it. But I find that my fans enjoy the LMIN, the Let's Make It Nasty series better, the bedroom series better than the crime erotica.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to check that out then, because right now, but that's all I know right now is the Chronicle. All right, that's not bad. Now, I was asking, have you gone out to tour yet? To meet the fans up front, face to face?
No, not yet. That's in the works, though.
All right, good. All right, let's talk about this name, Fyre Mouth. Whoa, now I had a conversation with 2 Christian buddies at work. We was at lunch. And I said, I got a new friend online. They said, what? What's her name? It's the second one. I said, her name is Fyre Mouth. They still saw their eyes. And then they started laughing. They said, what? They said, get out of here, Prime. I said, nah, that's her name. She's a writer, you know. So what's behind that name? Tell us about it.
Well, Fyre Mouth actually began because of my poetry. I write erotic poetry. And I was in a group, and a good friend of mine told me that I had a very potty mouth. And he just told me, he just started calling me Fyre Mouth, Fyre Mouth. And the name just kind of stuck with me. So when I became an author, I just carried the name on over.
Ooh.
And that's what it has been ever since.
You never told me that story before. I was saving that. You know, I wanted to ask you that.
Yes.
I met you on one of your friends' Facebook page, and I was like, "Wow, who's that?" And remember, I was going back and forth with my co-producer because I thought it was Fry. He said it was Fry. I wonder maybe she misspelled it. I said maybe that's Fire.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say you kind of creative with your artwork, and tell us a little bit about why the artwork changes so often.
Because my fans love me so much, and if they find a picture of hot, sexy lips, they tag me in them, and when they tag me in them, I change them. So that's why my profile constantly changes on Facebook. Yeah,
because you got. I have never seen the one that you have on Amazon. That's crazy.
That's actually my logo. That's on all the covers of my books.
Okay, and I love that one that had the cigar. That was the one that really expressed the art,
right,
the look, Fyre Mouth, the cigar. That was slick. That was one of my favorite ones. And I think the first one when we first met you was pretty slick too. You actually was rocking that one for a good while.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So are you excited to get out on the road to meet these fans? I mean, your popularity is really growing. I mean, especially among the females. It's like you kind of like their leader or something,
I wouldn't say the leader part, but yeah, I am. Like I said, it's in the works. It's in progress. When I make it happen, you will definitely know. I will definitely keep you in the loop, Jerry.
That's right. Now, you and I talked about this a couple of times. Two major things we talked about. The first one was, do you see yourself writing another genre, pretty soon, along with what you're doing now, under a new pen name?
That's a possibility, yes. I've given thought to it. I've been considering it, but I don't know how soon it's going to take place because everybody's waiting on book 3 for Let's Make It Nasty and for the David Hanger series.
Yeah, right. So you got your hands full right there. Right there. There you go. Right. Man, I have to say, I would love to see a detective story for a guy like David, because we used to see those shows years ago where the detective was really slick and he could really carry it, kind of like a James Bond type guy, really cool, and they had some women. Just like I don't know if you guys remember Miami Vice, but I used to really be fond of Crockett. It was like he still had good relationship with his ex-wife. He had a couple old girlfriends here and there. He was just and he was real good with the cases. Along with his sidekick Tubbs. So that's why David Hanger kind of remind me of those guys. So that is cool. Oh
yeah, he's a little bit more modernized though. He's real smooth.
Yeah.
Everybody has that good guy image of him, but you never know what happens in book 3 though.
That's right. He's a real thinker too. A real thinker. All right. Now, right now you're writing erotica. Now, I haven't read Nasty 2 yet. Now, how intense, how graphic are you? With these books. I mean, what are you trying to do with the reader?
I want to get inside the reader's mind. I want them to be able to place themselves in the character. I want them to be able to become the character, to picture themselves doing exactly what the character is doing. So I try to be as descriptive as possible so that that image is in their head when they're reading, and it blows their mind.
How about when they go to sleep and wake up?
Well, I have nothing to do with that part. Hopefully they'll pick the book up and continue.
That's what I'm saying. They put the book down. It's stuck in their head now. They're about to go to sleep. They wake up, it's still there. It's like, whoa, what a rush.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking
about. So impactful. Yeah, so impactful. That is crazy. So that's your objective as a writer.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay, you ready to read a piece for us?
Sure. What I'm going to be reading is a passage from the Black Widow Murders of the David Hanger series, the Chronicles of David Hanger. I'm at a part where he's at his first crime scene in the story. I opened the door to a scene of pure chaos. A gurney was posted in the hallway, guarded by the EMTs. The coroner was waiting to gain entrance to room 4069. I assumed everyone was waiting on me. I exited the elevator and casually walked towards room 4069. Dick Hanger, it is about time you arrived, Coroner Davita Fine said to me. I started laughing and attempted to ignore her antics. She knew she would be paying for their little smart-ass comment when I put this dick in her ass. Coroner Fine and I met on a case about 4 years ago. There was a string of drive-by shootings in the city along with illegal drug activity. That was the case that earned me the key to the city, compliments of the mayor. I winked my eye at her and kept it moving. I presented my badge again to another shirt that was standing at the entrance to room 4069, and I entered. What I saw next made me grab my dick and check for my balls. I saw a man lying in bed with his family jewels in his mouth. I scanned the room and checked for sexual activity, fingerprints, and any other signs that would possibly lead us to the killer. I made a personal note of the red bow tie that our victim was wearing. I wondered if that was a clue. What was the killer trying to tell us? You have to get the book to figure out what happened.
Woo. See, I read that book.
Did you enjoy it?
I really did. I think I told you offline, how good that book really was.
Yes, you did. You really did.
And old girl asked me to have dinner tonight, and I said I only had like a couple minutes to get ready for the show. She had actually left work early. Yep, see, it makes things hot.
You might need to be reading a passage of Let's Make It Nasty Part 2. So I was like, you might be in a little trouble, Jerry.
yeah. Now, that wasn't too bad. Can you give us another chapter, another piece?
Sure. Let's see. I mean, how do you want it naughty?
Yeah, do what you got to do. You trying to sell books now.
Okay.
These shows go viral now, so,
Okay. I allowed Coroner Fine to enter the crime scene to do her thing. I cleared the small room so she could go to work and we could be alone. I closed the entrance door and locked it. Dick Hanger, you do know that the door should not be locked, right? People may think we are tampering with the crime scene, she said to me as she stuck her tongue in my mouth. Shush, don't talk, I said as I broke the kiss. How about we step into the closet over there and you let me hit that ass? I said to her while walking her backwards towards the closet. If we get caught, both of us could lose our jobs, she replied while unbuckling the belt on my pants. We entered the closet with a sexual force to reckon with. I lifted her skirt and exposed her luscious ass. I think she knew I would be on this case. That's why she was without underwear. I popped her apple ass just hard enough to make her moan a bit. We kissed. I licked her neck and caressed her nipples through her bra. I could feel them harden at my touch. Free those girls. I want to taste them, I told her as she raised her shirt and bra. I sucked on the left nipple first. I knew that one was highly sensitive. I nibbled on the right one next. I lowered my right hand to stroke that pussy. Fuck, she was wet. She dropped to her knees and placed my dick in her mouth. She started sucking and licking without using her hands. I didn't want to come from a head job right now, so I pulled her up from her knees. Bend over, touch the floor, and take this dick, I commanded her. She did as she was told. I went into her pussy with angry pumps. I placed my hand over her mouth so her moans could not be heard. Her pussy started talking to me. It had become super wet and sloshy. She had an orgasm. I gave her pussy one more hard push and filled her pussy with my sweet cum. As we fixed our clothing so we could return to work, I paused for a moment and tongued her down. Her kisses tasted like butterscotch, and her pussy always tastes like caramel. Her ass was built like an apple, and her head jobs made me feel like butter. This woman always made me feel some type of way. We returned to our rightful jobs and continued our work. We made plans to continue our little affair later tonight. I couldn't wait. I walked back over to the door and unlocked it. Coroner Fine, what do you have for me? I said to her as I pulled out my notepad for notes. Dick Hanger, it appears that the victim has multiple stab wounds to the neck, arms, and chest. I noticed that he is wearing a red bow tie. Not sure if it holds any significance, but I will check it for prints. But his testicles have been removed by a sharp object, scissors or a knife, and shoved into his mouth. I believe that he died of the stab wounds, though. I will have more for you in less than 24 hours, she said to me as the body was being loaded onto the gurney. I gave her a wink and she started her descent of the stairs.
Hot. That was one of my favorite scenes, too, even though one that topped that was when I guess the lead character got involved with the gym owner. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, her name was Devlin, and that was Sarah at the gym called Cakes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was real. I've read a lot of stuff, and I've never read a scene come close to that. That was
wow.
Crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
awesome.
Boy. You got skills. You definitely got skills, and we definitely looking forward to your weekly shows. To be entertained while I'm working late, and listen to Kelly B set it off out there on the internet. And the crazy thing about podcasting, which I like a lot, is that people have to have a choice now. They don't have to just be locked into the signals that we hear, even from XM, and you're limited to those dials. You can go out on the internet and find anything your heart desire. So how long you think you guys going to be doing something like that? Are you going to enhance it a little bit more, or just keep it where it is?
We more than likely we will probably enhance it a little bit more and broaden our topics. Last night's show was actually the very first one we did where everything was just adult atmosphere and adult topics and questions. We normally just do authors, but we had so many callers to call in. We'll probably do another show like that again.
Yeah, that was crazy. Wow, well, we definitely wish you the best out there. You're definitely making a lot of noise. We were definitely impressed with you, and I'm glad you was able to do an exclusive interview with Positive Power 21, and maybe we get a chance to hang out in your fan club and Facebook and get a chance to get to know your fans, and hopefully one day we get a chance to meet you at one of these big book festivals that's coming up pretty soon in the next few months or a few years, whatever when you decide it's time for you to show your face.
Oh yes, definitely. That is something that I want to do. I definitely want to do that.
All right. And before we go, is there anything you'd like to say to encourage any newbies, new writers? I know you haven't been out there that long yourself, but, a lot of success is coming your way. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, follow your dreams. Never give up. I mean, with one door shut, there's always another one that will open. And always remember this, being an author is not a competition. You have to do it because you love it. Most authors feel, I have to compete with this person or I have to compete with that person. But what they don't realize is there's enough money for everybody to make. When a reader reads one book, they're going to be looking for that next book. That's why you get out there and you promote. Eventually, you will make that status. I mean, you just got to drive hard. Like you always tell me, let's work. You have to grind to shine. Let's work.
That's right. And it's funny because we always tweeting each other and instant messaging each other, trying to keep each other, because we know what we're trying to do. We're trying to accomplish, and you can't stop right now, and you need support. Everybody, it's a lot of money out there right now. Everybody got really, really good skill sets. I mean, we're always blessed with what we're doing right now. It's just time to take it to the next level, you know. And you do need encouragement and support. You're not going to always get that from your immediate family and friends because, you know, it's just like that crab in a barrel mentality. They don't really want you to climb out first. So out here right now, I see your support. I think it's super. I think it's awesome. I applaud all your fans, your friends, your support system, your what you call them, your sisters in ink.
Yes, my sisters and brothers in ink. I consider everybody, all others, a family to me.
That's right. If you want to go ahead and give a shout out to your fan, your ink sisters, brothers, go ahead, holla at them.
Yeah, man, I want to give a shout out to all of True Glory and Royal Dynasty Publications, man. Y'all keep doing your thing, man. Let's work. Let's make it happen.
That's right.
And all of my fans, I love all of them, and I appreciate every last one of them, whether they enjoyed the books or they didn't. I still appreciate them.
That's right. So, Fyre, can your fans be my fans?
Oh, most definitely. I talk about you all the time.
All right. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Man, you fill that baby up. Even though we can handle 1,000, we can handle 1,000 people at one time. But you did a great job pushing the show, and we definitely going to be putting it out there for you. And we hope your fans will continue to support you because I know we talked about this a while ago, and you can say this a little bit. I mean, you're thinking about one day owning your own publishing company, correct?
Yeah, one day I would love to do that. Yes.
Right.
I'm still learning the ins and the outs. When I'm ready, the world will know.
That's right, everybody. Watch out now. Fyre Mouth. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and check her books out. She got Let's Make It Nasty 2, Sexual Positions, The Black Widow Murders with Chronicles of David Hanger series. You got Chronicles of David Hanger series 2, Kidnap, and Let's Make It Nasty, the original version, which that was just released in January.
Yes.
Wow, you're really making a lot of noise. Wow, fast success. All right, take care, everybody, and continue to tune in to PositivePower21.org. I'm Joy Royce, and thank you for tuning in to the Joy Royce Show. And we're looking forward to having many of your friends out here on the show. Take care, everybody.
Almost definitely. Bye-bye.
All right. That's a wrap. Thank you for tuning in to the Positive Power 21 Network. Team 21 would like to thank you all for tuning in, and please spread the word and tell a friend. This is Joy Royce at Positive Power 21, Thank you, Fyre. We get our positive on.